am Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Good morning to you. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. I'm so happy that you've joined us today. I'm excited about my guest today. You're going to find out all about our wonderful guest. But first, I want to make sure that I say Happy Veterans Day to honoring all of our service members who served. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you from my heart, from the Inspire audience's heart for your service. It is deeply appreciated, and we want to honor you on today. I see you coming in, so go ahead and shout out. Go ahead and shout out where you are watching from. Go ahead and shout out. Let me look. All right. I see y'all. Go ahead and shout out where you're watching from. And you know the question I always ask. In the morning, what are you sipping on? What are you sipping on? What you got in your cup this morning? What you got in your cup? Is it apple juice? Is it orange juice? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Is it water? Is it a smoothie? Is it something stronger? If it is, listen, I'm not judging. You know what I got in my cup? I got coffee in my cup, in my Inspired Change cup. So I got coffee in there, my mushroom coffee. You guys know that I have just fallen in love with mushroom coffee, and I promote it every. I'm not going to promote the brand because I'm not getting paid. Okay, I'm just going to say that the mushroom coffee. If you want to know the brand that I drink, let me know. I will inbox you. The brand that I drink, but I love it. It gives me such a boost of energy. And I thank my sibling, Dr. Rainier Amin, for introducing me to this coffee. Hey, Robert Brooker. Nice to meet you. I see you joining in from Dr. Loren's page. Let me know where you are watching from and what is in your cup. What's in your cup? So while we are waiting for more folks to join us, I want to do me a favor. Let me take this down. I want you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Listen, I tell you every week that I need y'all to help your girl out, right? Help your girl get some numbers, right? Because my goal is to have some good sponsors on the Inspire Show, right? So connect, follow, like, subscribe on Cara Solutions LLC on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. We're Inspired by Cara on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can head over to our websites at www.cara-solutions.com or www.getinspired.live. Follow us, connect. Listen, I don't want you to miss anything that's happening with Inspire. And so the only way that you can find out what's happening in Inspire is if you connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Okay, it costs nothing. To connect, follow, like, and subscribe. And so I invite you to do that. Also invite you to listen later if you want to catch up on any of our previous episodes. We're at Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. We're at Inspired by Cara on all of those platforms. So do me a favor, head on over there. Follow us on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and on Spotify. I see you coming in. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Chella Belcher. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining me this morning. What you sipping on, Dr. Chella? Now, if you're joining us for the very first time, you don't know who the hell I am. You don't know what Inspire is about. I'm your host, Sue A. Webley. I'm the founder of Kara Solutions, LLC. We are a full digital service agency that helps individuals and organizations navigate the virtual space with confidence. And so Inspire is a live interview style broadcast that is on a mission to encourage, empower, and embolden individuals to create change in their personal lives, their communities, and in the world. And as our guests, entrepreneurs, influencers, creatives, and others share their testimonies, their tips, their tools with us. We hope that you are inspired to elevate your mindset, pursue your dreams, and to do, as the late Dr. Katie Geneva Cannon put it so eloquently, the work your soul must have. The work your soul must have. So that's what Inspire is all about. And we are glad you come to hang out to get a little inspired with our guest today. Hey, Lakeisha Williams, it's so good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Robert said, my cups are filled with tea, not with water, coming at you from Napani. I hope it's a Napani or Napani. Please let me know if I pronounced that wrong. Ontario, Canada. Thank you. Thank you. Canada, where we will apologize for you unless you are being a wanker, that is. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Dr. Chella, let me know what you're sipping on. Hey, this is Shakira. Hey, sis, how are you? Let me know what you're sipping on this morning. I know you're joining us from New Jersey. Dr. Chella says, water until I get to my coffee. Listen, there's water in the coffee. Amen. Lakeisha, what you sipping on this morning? Napani. Okay, I'm going to get that pronunciation right, Robert. Thank you for doing that for me. I will make sure that I get it right. I'll make sure that I get it right. We're not going to belabor the time. I see you coming in. As you're coming in, do me a great big favor. Share this broadcast this morning because I'm so excited about our guest that is getting ready to come before us. And I know that he is an inspiration and he is sure it is going to inspire you today, which is what this show is all about. So let us get into our introduction of our guest this morning. Now, I don't know if you were on Thursday morning, but I was on his show. And so we decided that we would be on each other's shows. And I'm so glad I had such a good time on Dr. Loren Michaels Harris's show on Thursday. And I know we're going to have a good time today. Dr. Loren Michaels Harris is not just a name. He is the force of positivity, a beacon of light in a world of motivation and purpose. As the host of the daily interview talk show Bathrobe Moments and an executive producer on the E360 TV network, Dr. Harris uses his platform to share stories that resonate with the human spirit. His journey has been nothing short of extraordinary, featured on major networks like ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and Fox. And he's been heard on renowned shows such as Larry King Live and NPR Radio. A trailblazer in every sense, Dr. Loren Michaels Harris has graced the covers of prestigious magazines, breaking barriers as the first openly gay service member. Thank you for your service. First openly gay service member and the first African-American man featured on Shift Magazine. He is the founder of the Power of We Symposium, and he celebrates underserved kids of color. We're going to find out more about that initiative. And he emphasizes the transformative power of mentorship and purpose discovery. But it doesn't stop there. Through coaching programs like Slam the Hammer Mastermind, LMH Coaching, Rockstars, and his Elevate Masterclass, Dr. Harris pays it forward, providing individuals with the stages they need to shine. His motto is simple yet profound. You do the work, and I will provide the stages. Today, we are going to delve into the life, into the lessons and the aspirations of Dr. Loren Michaels Harris. And so as we prepare to meet him, let's take a look at a brief clip where he talks about the power of invitation.
Myself, or so I thought, from a 14-year drug addiction, I had destined myself to be distant from it. I had also decided that my mental illness or mental health situation that they all said I had, so I refused the lithium and took crack instead. Not a good idea, but it was still the path that was chosen for me. I want you to know, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be able to tell you what I know to be true about that. I never was addicted to drugs, not for 1 minute of 14 years. What I was addicted to was the abuse of the gift of invitation. The drug never did anything that it didn't promise. I had millions and millions of examples of what you get, and I still invited it in. Why is that so crucial? Because everything that is within purpose that will get you places nothing or no one else can get you are protected inside. They're all internal. That's why it's instinct, intellect, intuition, insight. And the only way something gets in and takes it in any direction is through your invitation.
Good morning, Dr. Loren. How are you?
Good morning. You caught me staring. I was like, it's weird watching yourself.
It is. What a profound statement, this power of invitation. But before we get into that and what led up to this moment, your life's journey, what led up to this moment, what are you sipping on? What's in your cup this morning?
Oh, not much. Some gin.
Uh,
What?
Come
I'm
on.
kidding. I'm kidding. It's just coffee. Black coffee. I'm plain Maine.
Plain Jane?
Yeah, I'm not one of those macchiato or Starbucks. No, just plain black coffee with a little flavor to it.
What kind of flavor?
Hazelnut today.
Hazelnut. Okay. Yeah, I'm a macchiato girl. I love caramel macchiatos with almond milk. But for the most part, I'll do like an almond milk creamer, non-dairy milk creamer in my coffee.
Well, first of all, the lines at those places are way too long for me. I don't have that kind of patience. For real. The standing all that in line and those, oh my god, and you walk in there, it's like a third world country. All the stuff they're talking, I'm like, what did she just ask for? And you feel very less than when you go, I'll just take a black coffee.
Right.
And everybody's looking at you like,
well, Dunkin' Donuts, you could go in and ask for regular coffee. When you go to places like Starbucks, now you have to go grande, venti.
I'm too cheap. My Mr. Coffee spits it out just the way I like it. Hot, black, and wet.
All right. Hot, black, and wet. Come on.
And I'm still talking about coffee.
Yes.
It's the weekend. I'm not on my show, so I got to worry about him kicking me off the air.
I won't kick you off, Inspire.
I'm kidding. How are you?
I am well. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Happy Veterans Day. I just want to say to all of our service members, and not just thank you for your service, but because I've been there. Thank you all. Thank you, past, present, and future, for your sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice, being away from your families, missing those babies' first steps, and when a tooth came out, and graduations, and all of that. Even some have missed weddings. So I just honor you for your sacrifice. So thank you for keeping us safe.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Loren. So this video that I opened up with, it was just a clip, but it was so profound about this gift of how we invite things in. But you did share a little bit about your story, and so if you would be willing to expound on it a little bit, what has led you to this place where now you are a mentor, now you are a purpose discovery coach, all of the wonderful things that you are doing? Tell us a little bit about your life story.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. What led me to it? What led me to it, I would have to say, is everything that held me through it. Same thing. You see, I didn't know when I was making my way through these things. I did not know what they are to me today. Of course, I just thought, look at me inside of all this horrible stuff. But that was when, I ascribe to what is greater than me. Because it's not just God. It's not just Jesus. It ain't just Father Abraham, Moses, Enoch. It's not just angels. It's not just the Holy Spirit. It's all of them. And that's just the few that we know of. I'm sure there are others, because I know that God and the universe works on a need to know basis, which is based on our need to grow basis. So it spoon feeds us because, We question what we already have access to half the time. So I would say that, and I mentioned it because it ties into everything you're asking me, especially about that moment about the invitation. So I ascribe first and foremost to everything greater than me. That means anything that has a life force and anything that has a force upon life. So to
Mhm.
me, that means the force upon life. That's nature, the elements, fire, water, wind, rain, the moon, the sun. Because in peace be still, we have dominion. It shows that we have dominion over nature and everything, chaos. We have dominion over it. That's why when he said peace be still, that's each one of those words is one single syllable. Peace. He's beckoning. Peace, come here. Chaos, be still. Be still. Just how easy it is. Lazarus, come forth. You remove the proper noun, Lazarus, and you have come forth. Two more one syllable words. And that's power over life, over death.
Mhm.
In life and death. That's power over life and death right there.
Mhm.
Come forth. And so when I say greater than, I tell people all the time, they think it's funny, but it's true. When I say greater than, even if I would say you and me were locked in a room with a dozen roaches in the dark, and one of us turned on the light, I guarantee you, neither you or me, Sue, can run or move as fast as those other roaches. Those roaches gonna move. They're gonna, and in that case, they greater than me. Because I ain't no way I can move that fast. Ain't no way. So I look at it like that because it is a way for me to remain humble and to
Mhm.
look at everything that God created that has a life force or a force upon this life. I don't want to think that anything is ever here, just arbitrarily squish it. I don't want to think that it's okay for me to believe because I used to be that guy. Let some ants or something be coming up on my blanket in the park. I'm come on now. Flick you. I'll try to flick you. You come back, I'm gonna crunch you. And then my friend Jade, she's a light worker. She said, Dr. Loren, you can actually speak to them and they'll listen. I was like, you talking about the ants? She said, yeah. I was like, girl, please. Then about 6 months later, she sent me a video on her phone where she was sitting out eating a Lunchable. And here comes, she reading a book, and she had her little thing sitting there. Here come a whole line of ants. And she said, excuse me, ants. I know y'all hungry and all, but that's all I have until 7 o'clock tonight. And I don't want to hurt y'all, but if you come towards my Lunchable, I'm going to have no choice but to send you into the light. Now turn around. And I am not kidding you. The whole column just did an about face and went the opposite way. I was like, she looked at the phone. She goes, see, Dr. Loren, I told you. And ever since then, Sue, ever since then, I just don't, I'll fan something away or I'll speak to it and tell it to go its own way. But I don't make that decision because I'll tell you why. Because back when I'm talking about the 14 years and the drug addiction and all the other
Mhm.
things, so many decades in my journey, I was just focused on killing myself one way
Mhm.
or another. I bought into the lies, if you will. When I was a teenager, aging out of foster care, I didn't think I'd make 20. And then in my 20s, I thought, well, I don't need to save no money or nothing to go to school. I ain't gonna be here when I hit 30. I'm not gonna make it to 30. Kids like me don't make it to 30.
Mhm.
Just kept going, 40, 50. And all of a sudden I was like, dang, okay, wait a minute. I'm halfway to 100. I guess I could stop saying I'm not gonna make it to the next one and start planning on just in case. So that was when it switched over. And I decided to stop investing in the killing of myself and start investing in the healing of myself. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you how it happened. I was in the heat of my addiction. I'm not kidding you. And I was at a stoplight. I'll never forget it in Benton Harbor, Michigan, M139 in Napier. I'll never forget it. And I pulled in front of a McDonald Chiropractic was the name of the place. Because when I went, I took a hit underneath the seat. I bent down and I drove through the intersection when the light changed. And I heard God say, hey, Loren, pull over. I got a question for you.
Mhm.
I was like, pull over. That's like come to the office. Can we get Loren, can you come to the office? God want to see your ass. Come on up here. What I did, right? So anyway, I pulled over, and I'm not kidding you. You've ever been in a car, driving a car that the plates, the tags were expired, and the police was
Mhm.
behind you, and you like trying not to look in the mirror because they could see, and you're
Mhm.
laying on the thing that's going like that's kind of how it was. And I was pulled over, I was like, What I do? What I do? And God said, let me ask you something. You know all the things that I'm always flashing in your mind as far as possibilities and those things you say, could I really do that in this world? Could I really be that man in this world? Could I leave this world with all this having been completed? And I tell you all the time, of course, of course, of course, of course. And he says, let me ask you something. He goes, if I told you you could have all of that stuff that I've shown you and more, but the only contingency was that you had to live for me. I mean, you had to die for me. Would you do it? And I was like, yep. I mean, didn't even take a beat. Yep. Of course I'd die for you. And then he goes, uh-huh. Then he said, same thing, same deal. But what if you had to live for me? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What, do that mean I can't watch porn? Oh, wait a minute. Can I go to the boat, the casino? Can I still gamble? Well, what about, and by the time I started listening to myself as I heard him say, see, a lot of people think it's that I want you to die for me. No, the hard part ain't dying for nothing. The part is living for something. Let me know when you're willing to live for something.
That's good.
And that was the beginning. And then he told me a few years later, I was just minding my own business. Right around this time of the year, usually I'll get a download, which will provide a theme for me and the people that I coach for the next year. Like this one for this year coming up, I've already got it. Came last week. It's about raising our temples. Raising our temple, like you raise a barn, you create it, you build it from the ground up, raising my temple. And so, anyway, that particular year, it was like I was walking around, always happens in my driveway. And he's like, hey, Loren, what would you do if we told you you were never addicted to drugs? I was like, quit playing. And I went on and they said, you weren't. I was like, how can that be? They said, you weren't addicted to drugs. And then all that came through. Those drugs never lied to you. They didn't magically jump up and jump into your mouth, into your body. You chose them. You invited them in. And so you were never addicted to drugs because they don't have that power. You held the power through invitation. And every time you invited them in, you brought them into your most sacred space where all those things, like I was bringing out in the clip, intuition, insight, instinct, intuitiveness, all of those precious commodities. When something comes in there that is not meant to serve you, it got in because you brought it in. And then some people would say things to me like, well, what about, you didn't walk out of the hospital when you were a newborn and change the course of your destiny. That was chosen for you. Yes, it was. But I didn't invite it in. But the things that did not serve me, eventually I invited them to stay. You may not invite them all in, but you come to the point where you can revoke that invitation or that present. You know what? Your services are, because it's there for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. God ain't trying to make no mistakes. He's just trying to keep this shit interesting. That's all he's doing. He's keeping this journey interesting. Give you something to keep going. I wonder what that's all about, because it is never about just one thing, ever. And so, I mean, that really, understanding that it was through invitation that I abused and that the control, I love it because I'm very simplistic. I'm a very minimalistic man. And God told me a long time ago, Loren, if I had a book on my bookshelf behind my desk that talked about my relationship with each of you, my children, yours would be one of those white, yellow, and black books, dummies, whatever for dummies. You know what I mean? And he laughed. And I laughed because there is a sense of humor. I said, because I love that I can just break it down plain. I can give it to you simple. And it works. And that's why I believe today I speak primarily through metaphor. I get these really great metaphors because when you can see it, you can believe it. Seeing is believing. It's a real thing for a lot of people. And so it just, the way it's all tied in, that's what it was. And I still, so it seems like yesterday. It's so strange, so interestingly strange how I've been clean and sober all these years now. And I thought when I got sober that everybody quit. I thought, don't nobody do crack no more. right? Like it went out of style or something. And
Mhm.
and then when I hear of it, it seems like, what? You mean to tell me they still out there doing this crazy, man? Are you for real? And so it's just a beautiful thing to look back on and see how God used everything
Mhm.
for the greater purpose, you know. And that's why I have, a bell of purpose right there. It says it right on it. The bell of purpose. That's what it says right on it. Because it took me almost 50 years to
Wow.
understand that everything that we have been made to endure, to live. I remember one day God said to me, "Hey, Loren, I wish every one of your tears would have turned into a book. If that was the case with all of you, this universe would be filled with wonderful libraries."
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because our tears, every syllable of our journey has a tear attached to it somewhere,
Yeah.
whether we were crying for ourselves or there were people that care for us that were crying for us, or the angels were crying for us. And there's not just tears of pain, there's tears of joy,
Yeah.
you know, so it's just all, I love the way journey unfolds. I really, really do. I would not go back. I was telling somebody yesterday, I was showing them the picture. You want to see it? The picture from the Star Trek convention. The press took this picture, and I love this
Oh,
picture.
let me put you up so people can
I
see.
love this picture because we were in the round. So up above where you see there's people all around in there, right? And
Mhm.
they showed the Goldcast clip before I came out, and people were like, "I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It's so unfair." You hear all these little things coming out from the darkness. And just instantly, and that's what that photo was. And I was like, I appreciate your empathy. But let me tell you something. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Mm.
How bad could I know it sounds bad, and at the time it felt horrible. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt. It did. But how bad at the end of the day could any of those abuses truly have been when each and everything that was done to me, that was spoken about me, that
Mm.
was held against me, all those things, every single one of them led me to this divine moment right now, right here with you. How bad could it have been?
Mm.
Seriously. That's what I love about the present. You know, it really puts everything into perspective. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Wasn't yesterday. The only day you can do something about is today. You can't
Right.
do
Right.
nothing about yesterday. You can't do nothing about tomorrow, but
Right.
you can do something with today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
So,
how I feel. Yeah,
yeah. So you shared a lot
I did.
um about your journey. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, so let me want to mute you just while I'm speaking, so we could
Huh?
eliminate that in a minute. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback,
From
so
me?
I'm hearing myself. I think I'm hearing myself through your
Oh,
speaker.
okay.
Yeah. So
We
yeah, go
don't
ahead
hear it.
and
Just letting you know, I don't hear it.
yeah, I hear it a
Sound
little
good
bit,
to me.
but you shared so much about your journey. I love what you said about this living and dying, right? And if we had more time, I would kind of want to stay there, but
Go
there's some
ahead.
other things that I want to talk about. But this whole concept of living and dying, how it's much easier to die than it's much easier to die than it is to kind of live,
To
because
live.
living takes some things, right? Living, you have to be willing to experience some unsavory moments in your life,
Hmm.
right? Be willing to go through some journeys that you don't want to go through, right?
Hmm.
Living takes some stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Um, but I'm kind of still stuck under this whole concept of the invitation, because there are instances that happen in our lives that cause us to invite things that are not healthy for us into our bodies, into our minds, into our spirits, right? You shared some of, your experiences that caused you to invite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Invite drugs and all of these things. My question for you is, how do you rescind the invitation?
Well, okay, I love this one. I love this question. Well, first of all, you got to understand just because there's been an invitation or something has been invited and it is there, it is still, if it is there up to the point where you know you no longer need it, that's when I give out pink slips and I record, and my soul lets me know when it's time to pass out a pink slip. For
Mm,
instance, something may have been in my life, it was necessary. When I was in foster care and I saw some horrible people had no business having charge over children. Not all of them, but I saw a handful. Trust
mm,
me, enough to never need to see them again in 5 lifetimes. Let's put it that way. And I realized because of them, even that was on purpose. It's never about
mm,
just one thing, just wasn't for the horribleness. It was also to remind me, to remind others what they can never become. You see what I'm
mm.
saying? Sometimes
Yes.
I'm in situations with horrible people to remind me of what I can never become. Wow, well, I know one thing. I may not ever be president, but I know one thing. I ain't gonna be your ass. That's how I will not be you. No, ma'am. Thank you. But no, thank you. Right. And so, you know, when these things, it's like this. When you said things cause us to
Mm,
invite, but they don't really cause us, they lull us. They dupe us. Let me tell you
mm,
something. Things that do not, one of the things you'll hear in a lot of my sizzle reels is I say it all the time. Things that do not serve you must go. They must go. The longer you leave them to their own devices, as if it doesn't matter, the longer you are giving them to trick you into serving them.
mm,
And I've found in my own journey and people that I coach with that a lot of the time, the things that do not serve us are things that parade around in our worlds with no names. For instance, I use this example. Hey Brenda, how you doing? I ain't heard from you. What's wrong? What you mean everything? What everything? Who? Those people. Those people where? At your job?
mm,
Oh, well, what about those people? Oh, just everything. You just don't like. When really, what Gail should have said was, "Look, I'm having trouble with," or Brenda should say, "I'm having trouble with Gail, that bitch in HR." You see what I'm saying? Even if she say it like that, she could be wrong. Could be all her, not Gail at all. But we know where it is. It's at B&L Plastics. It's in the HR department. It's in an office with somebody named Gail or whoever.
mm,
You see what I'm saying? Now you can do something about it. But when it's just whatever, anything, just life. That's the trick. Things that serve that don't serve us never have a name. Now you can't catch it because you're running around trying to catch butterflies without a net. Because things that do not serve us don't have a flight pattern. They don't go from limb to limb, flower to flower, like
mm,
birds and bees. They
mm,
go all over the place because they're there to deceive and to destroy and to confuse. And that's how they I mean, like now you and I are in here, we agreed, we enacted a promise of 2 or more when we come together, when we both said let's do this thing Saturday
mm,
morning, and then we came on Saturday morning and we didn't just run in like sorry, glad I'm here, like it didn't, like it was throw anything against the wall and hope it sticks. No, it was a sacred opportunity and we
mhm,
protected it as such. And so now we enacted the promise. All the spiritual magic that can come out of the spigots that are pouring into each place that is watching from where they are right now or in the future. There is a spigot inside of that space pouring from this sacred space into that one so that they
mhm,
can take that cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot. You cannot feed from an empty plate. And so when we come here like this, we're enacting a promise, we're enacting protections. And so things that do not serve us always are, everything they do is to get us to believe we are alone. So like when people are in here with you or me separately, like I'm here and there's somebody else, or you're here and there's somebody else. And only we are invested in knowing that this is sacred space, not just any old space. I don't just I don't hold space. I hold sacred space. I don't collect good friends. I collect blessed friends. I ain't trying to go anywhere tonight or tomorrow or next week and come home with some fond memories. I'm trying to come home with some divine memories. You see what I mean? And the divine memory, the difference is a regular fond memory is a girl. Remember that time we was at Magic Mountain and you got sick on the roller coaster? Remember that? Oh, I'll never forget. That's a fond memory. But I believe one day when we transition to whatever's next for us in whatever form we take, we're going to see all those divine memories standing over there looking back at us. And it'll be things like when you just walked past that person and touched their shoulder, didn't even know why. You let your hand linger as you pulled away and they kind of looked over, but you didn't know that that touch changed their life. That is a divine memory. And so I seek those things, but I name them. So when I started naming the things,
getting a little freezing on this end. Oh, we're getting a little freezing on this end. You know what? Technology is not an exact science, so hopefully he will. Hopefully we will. Yep, he's a little frozen. So while I'm not sure if you hear me, Dr. Loren. While this Wi-Fi is trying to get some act right. Okay, yeah, you froze for a minute. Yeah, let me. I'm gonna let me just take a break. I want you to finish that thought when we come back. I just want to do some housekeeping until we get this Wi-Fi done because
I know that's right.
And we'll be right back. We'll be right back with more conversation with you. Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining us again. I want to remind you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Listen, if you're enjoying this conversation that I'm having with Dr. Loren, I want you to stay connected so that you are aware of all of the conversations that we have here on Inspire. So we're at Cara Solutions LLC on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. We're at Inspire by Cara on Facebook and Instagram. And you can always head over to our website at www.cara-solutions.com. Don't forget the hyphen in the middle, or www.getinspired.live to find out all about both Cara Solutions and Inspire. Again, we are also on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and on Spotify. We're Inspired by Cara on all of those platforms. And if you or someone you know is on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same, we want to hear from you. We want you to join us in conversation on a future episode of Inspire. So visit us at www.getinspired.live to book your appearance today, And one of the things that I forgot to shout out, Scott Michelle teasing things from my cup. Now, this is my niece. And if my sister is watching, we need updated photos of my niece because she's a little bit older now. But she is Scott Michelle, the Kid Boss. And you can visit her website at www.skymichelle.com. Customization is available. You can also follow her on Facebook and on Instagram. And I am Sky Michelle. And she is responsible for my Inspired Change Tumblr and all my Inspired swag, all the Inspired swag. Listen, you can go on the website to get it, or you can go to Sky Michelle to get it. But we have cups and tumblers and t-shirts and stuff like that. Listen, support your sister. If you get some Inspired swag, take a picture with it on and post it on social media and just, hashtag Inspired so that I know that you are wearing it. We are going to get back into our conversation with our wonderful guest right about now. Dr. Loren Michaels Harris, mentor, purpose discovery coach, author, and TV presenter right now. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much again for joining us. And so you were talking about rescinding the invitation. And what I heard in your statement was that we have to name it.
Yep.
we must name it. We must put a name to it.
Yeah.
And when we name it, we make it this tangible thing, right?
You
Then
identify it.
yeah, we identify it. We can do something with it.
You recognize it.
Yeah.
See, you know what these things are? They all tie into one thing. It's like everything that comes in like a download or that I'm like, okay, I get it. I look at it like a slinky because it now is going to take the back end where it came in and it's going to now go over into a new thing. For instance, that realization about naming led me next. They greater than me worked with me on the difference between, it said, now that you understand that, now you need to learn, because it is never about one thing, which led to that, which led to this, which is going to lead to many other things. So now I know about naming things, because now I know if I can name it, it serves me. I can call it, I can rebuke it. You see what I'm saying? Whatever I need to do, my dominion works. But in order for dominion, you can't just say a blanket thing, and think it's going to land where it needs to. No, you got to know where you're sitting. Your words are spelled. It's called spelling. The spoken word out of thy mouth. Every word that proceedeth out of your mouth. Doesn't say every 10th, every 12th, on weekends, and only on, months that end in H. It doesn't say that. It says every word. That tells you how important what you say is. Right? So then it started telling me, so now you can start learning, Loren, how to not live in surprise. What do you mean? Because when our blessings show up and you're surprised, it's okay when you're innocent, when you're a baby. Oh, yay, look what it, But then when your life is on the line and you're changing lives, and you've asked us to help you with your God-given talents to get inside the minds, hearts, and souls of the world. Because when we give you access to one, we've given you access to them all. Don't get it twisted. So you need to be able to know what to do with our blessings when they come. So when we send you stuff that you've been praying for, asking for, living for, don't be surprised, because that means you don't know, you don't have a plan on what to do with it. Oh, Lord, what do I do? I won the lottery. Oh, Lord. Well, you should have been planning. If you believed it, you should have been planning when you spent that money on that lottery ticket, that when I win it, I claim it in the name of, fill in the line. You already knew what you were going to do with it. All the time when you write your covenants with yourself and then you show them to the Creator, when you're co-creating, here is what I need to complete what I'd like to complete, or to do what I want to do. And when you give it to me, here's what I'm going to do with it. Because now it's need. See, purpose is based on need, because need comes with a plan. If you want to lose 20 pounds, then you need to chop better, because you need to cook better, because you need to eat better to lose the 20 pounds you want. But if you just say, I want to, down the road, trust me, you're going to gain it, because you ain't got no plan. It's a wish. So they taught me, when, quit living in surprise, live in a perpetual state of expectancy. I thought, well, that's easier said than done. You know what God said to me? He said, oh, really? You didn't seem to have a problem with Amazon Prime? Oh, what's Amazon Prime got to do with it? He said, didn't you order a pair of shoes last Thursday? Yeah. When they say it was coming? Saturday. By what time? 2:00. And when the doorbell rang at 1:58, you looked down and didn't see anybody. What you didn't go around and say, who playing games? You didn't. You looked straight down on the stoop. And when you saw that paint, they're my shoes. Why weren't you surprised? Because you expected it. If you can do it with Amazon Prime, how come you can't do it with us? You pray for something, expect it. You need something, expect it.
I like that.
So it all leads from one thing to the next. So again, don't underestimate that thing about naming things, because when things in my life, when I forget what your name was again, thing, you must not serve me no more, because I can't remember hardly anything about time for you to go. What you mean you ain't going? You ain't going. Oh, are we gonna see if I hit the button underneath my desk? Get my soul. So come up to the front of the house, please. We got one to go. When the soul come up, I say, take this one. This imposter syndrome, this spirit of imposter syndrome. I thank you, because you know what? I don't know what your intention was, imposter syndrome, when you started with me, but let me tell you what you really did. You gave me what I need now to never have to worry about that again. And now I have what I need to be an authority, to go and show as many in this life took me this long to learn, and I learned it all from you. I couldn't have done it without you. So you leave this place now, and you go and you do the same thing to as many others as you've done for me, because I couldn't have gotten here without you.
Mm.
But you don't, your services ain't needed here anymore. So get that passport back, get all the paperwork, and take this one from this place. You are hereby banished. And then I turn around and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really it. I know it sounds kind of woo-woo-ish or what. I don't know. I don't care what it sounds like. I'm just telling you from where I live and where I sit. You know, I start now. I speak to those things the way they used to speak to me, things that do not serve me, the way they used to speak to the lions. Right now, they sniffing around. Oh, you think you in there doing all this with Sue because you all in her power space. You think that, and they're sniffing for a portal of entry of where doubt. If we leave doubt out, it has no teeth, because doubt leads to worry. Worry
Mm-hmm.
leads to fear. Fear leads to anger, and anger leads to destruction.
Yeah.
If you leave doubt out, the rest of those don't have any power.
I love it.
The minute we start questioning who we are,
Yeah.
who's got our back, that's what they hope for. So that's it, Sue. That's it.
Mm. Love it. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Loren. So you have a number of initiatives, right? You know, you've done the Power of We Symposium, the
Yes.
Slam the Hammer Mastermind, your LMH coaching rock stars, right? Your Elevate Masterclass program,
Yes.
right?
I
You have
love them
so
babies.
many wonderful initiatives that have been birthed out of your lived experiences. How have you used all of what you shared with us so far? How do you use that in your various programs that you offer clients?
I look at everything. You know what it is? It's being willing to return to the proverbial scene of the crimes in your journey.
Mm.
You know, I lived a charmed life from the viewpoint of many until 11 years old, when what I thought was my birth mother, didn't know any different, just died. In a matter of 24 hours, I found out she was not my birth mother. I'd been there since day one. These people I had known were not my family. My name was Larry Dixon, not Loren Harris then. And I'm like, what? And you're now awarded the state, and here's a trash bag. Pack what you can. You're coming with us. So I had to return as an adult back to the proverbial scenes of the crimes. And what I returned to wasn't, you know, the bed in the first foster home where the first night there was a sexual trauma. And that's where I fell in love. And what does that mean? What? You fell in love with sexual trauma? No. I fell in love because when that perpetrator began his dismantling of my innocence, what is greater than me wrapped around me and said, fall, just fall into my arms. And I fell in love, because that's what caught me, and that's what held me, and still does today. They used to say when they dropped me off at all those different homes, there were 22 in total. I'd always hide around the corner when they tell me to go unpack, and I'd hear him say, yeah, he's a great kid, but if you come up on him and you hear him having conversations and no one's there but him, yeah, just don't forget he's got a lot of imaginary friends. And I'd look at my angels and they'd say, be quiet. I'd be going like this because they were with me then, and they're here with me right now in this very moment. And I just want people to know that that's real, that that's available. And I say this, when I say I visit the scene of the crime, I visit the season. So these things came in when I was an innocent, a child. So if you're going to come in, oh, you know, dirty, what kind of coward does something like this, right? Well, you would, of course. So now I see who you are. And what was it that was so wonderful that you started so early to try to keep me from? And that's what I remind myself every time. What is it you working so hard today, enemy, to keep me from? I'm naturally curious. And where that ends, nosiness comes in. So it pretty much, I'm going to sniff it all the way across the finish line. Right? And that's what I tell it. I talk to those things the way they used to talk to me. You ain't nothing. You ain't going to beat nothing. Why don't you do the world a favor and kill yourself? Now I turn those very words back on them, because I'm the one here that has dominion. I'm the only one here blessed with speech. And you can't put your hands on me. So what am I afraid of? everything you wanted me to not know. That's why you want to believe I was alone. Because if I was around other people like Sue, like Pastor Sue, she would tell me, Loren, you are this, you are that. I would tell her, you are great. You want to become greater. Don't get up every day. So see, once I learned, Sue, oh, so you used to trick me into thinking I had to get up. The enemy and things that do not serve us. They want us to think that we have to get up every day with the arduous task of writing our story with all 26 letters of the alphabet. You don't need all 26 letters. You only need 2. When you woke up this morning, Sue, before you put on them glasses that got them lips looking great like they always are, that smile ready for the world, you were already great. Before you put on that outfit, sprayed on that perfume, did whatever you did, you were already strong. You know, before you introduced me and set all this up, you were already nice. Now, today you have a chance to find one E and one R, scoot it up next to everything you already are. And suddenly all of that becomes nicer, greater, stronger, brighter. If we do that every day, one day when we leave this world, what is greater than us will point to everything out there and say, look what's coming. One of our greatest, one of our brightest, one of our strongest, one of our nicest. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. Get that E and that R today and leave the rest for when you get to the next day. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Wonderful. Oh,
That's
my goodness.
Right. That's right.
This is so good. What advice, because we're getting to wrap up, what advice would you have for those who are viewing now, who will catch this in the replay, right? Seeking to discover and pursue their divine purposes, right? Based on your own experience. What advice would you have for them today?
I would have this advice. Because your purpose should be that thing that is facing you the moment you exhale your most recent life-giving breath. As soon as you exhale that breath, you got to have it to live. You should be staring into the soul of your divine purpose. And that's the thing that a lot of people, I don't know how to find my purpose. I don't have to find. Look, I'm going to tell you this. If you really want to find your purpose, do this. Make a commitment to what is greater than you, that you will get up every day and believe that you can bring something to this world that this world has never seen before. But if you are willing to do that, that means that you must be willing to do part 2 of that in order for any of it to happen. And that is, you must be willing to get up every day and be a version of yourself that you have never been until that day. Do that. Do one and you do the other. That means I could go upstairs in my crisper in the refrigerator and make a boutonniere out of radishes and stuff. Go down to the Jewel grocery store and walk around for 10 minutes and come home. I've already done it. The world has never seen that because I hadn't made it. And I had never done it because I hadn't made it. But I just did them both. And now that leaves it open for everything that God has for me. Whether I'm ready to believe it or not, I already did. Because see, faith, joy, peace, happiness, love, all those things are not things. Every one of those is a place.
I love that.
It's a place. It is because when it's a place, it's there with you when you find yourself in need. There's that word again, need. It's already beneath you. I need a floor of purpose. It's already beneath you. I need a shield or a fence of faith. It's already around you. It's already there because they're places. They're not things. Where is it? You're looking up. Right. You're already there.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
I love that they're places. They're not things. They're places.
They're places.
Listen here, Dr. Loren.
Girl.
You blessed us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can the people find you?
Sitting right next to you.
Where can they find you? Right next to me. And where else?
If you just go, the best place is to Google me. I always say it to people so that you can be led and you can lead to what it is you really are seeking, if it's inside of my space or through people within my space, my sacred space. So Google me, or everything is Loren Michaels Harris or Loren Harris. You can find them both. and just reach out. My phone number's all over the internet. My email is the same, Loren Michaels Harris at Gmail. I try to keep it simple and easy. And when you reach out, I reach back. Trust me. Give me a minute. I'm old, 61, but I'm going to still get back to you. And I believe this, Sue, all of us, none of us is above or below, in front or behind the other. We're beside each other. When one of us wins, we all win. We just need to lock arms and get this work done. This is kingdom work, you know, and all of us has a piece to the combination known as healing. So let's heal. Let's heal. Let's ease some suffering in this world, okay?
Yes. And we'll do it together. Thank you again, Dr. Loren. I have posted your website in the chat. So y'all who are watching, please go ahead, head over to his website to find out all about the amazing, wonderful things that Dr. Loren Michaels Harris is doing in the world, and get connected, right? If you're looking for coaching or anything, like you want him to come and speak, all of that information is available on his website. Thank you again, Dr.
Thank
Loren.
you, Sue.
I look forward to us hanging out together again soon.
Me too.
I'm gonna be back on your show, and you'll be back on mine. We'll hang out together again soon.
I love your work. I love your work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I love yours. Thank you so much.
We'll
see each other again soon.
Okay, of course.
Listen, I want you guys to make sure that you join us next week. Join us next week for a special panel in honor of Trans Day of Remembrance, Black and Trans in America and Beyond. My special guest host will be Dr. Elijah Nicholas. He's the Executive Director of 100 Black Trans Men Incorporated. And joining us will be Nala Simone Toussaint, Founder and Executive Director of the Road Project, and also Reverend Eunice Coleman, who's Associate Pastor at Rivers. So big up Rivers, big up our church. We serve together at Rivers of Living Water Ministries, UCC. And he is also the TFAM Northeast Regional Coordinator for Trans Saints. We have other invited guests as well. Make sure that you join us next week, Saturday, November 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Black and Trans in America and Beyond. It's been so wonderful hanging out with you on this Saturday morning. Thank all of you for joining us. I see Mom on. Hey, Mom. Thank you for joining. Robert Brooker, thank you for joining us from Dr. Dr. Loren's page. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope I see you again. Chuck Hunt, I hope I see you again. You're on every Saturday. Hey, Jackson Swallow. That is my one of my classmates here at MTSO, one of the fellow seminarians who has been joining us for the last 2 weeks. And it's so great that all of you have spent time hanging out this morning. Listen, I'm about to go. I have things to do. I know you have things to do too. And listen, I'm going to take a sip of this coffee, get something to eat, finish up my day. And until we meet again next time, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated. And most of all, I want you to stay inspired. Can't wait to see you next week.